just war tradition, as it has come down to us through thinkers like Saint Augustine, Thomas Aquinas, and most notably Hugo Grotius in the 17th century, who is considered the father of international law, has been a very influential theory, especially in the Western Christianity. It is basically trying to wrestle with the issue that are there ever justified reasons for going to war? But one needs to remember with that tradition that it was never meant to justify war as such. Just because you can find a justification for going to war doesn't mean that it is a just war. In old times, warring parties used to be tribal leaders, and maybe some head of the family went to for avenging some wrong that they felt had been done against them. And the just war tradition tried to outline a moral framework to restrict the desire for going to war. And there were basically three criteria. You need to have right authority, meaning rightful authority, highest authority in the state, a king, whatever is the highest authority in each state. So war is not a private matter. It's not a vassal or prince who can just take up arms and attack someone else. You need the rightful authority, the highest authority in the land. Secondly, you need a right cause. You cannot go for war, according to this tradition, just for vengeance or bloodthirst or for vainglory or for imperial needs that you want to enlarge your territory. Defensive wars is understandable, or if you need to punish evil was one of the reasons. And the modern just war theorists, of course, have to wrestle with the questions of, is it ever justified to do a preemptive strike, and these kind of questions. But again, here we also see in the second criteria that they try to limit the reasons for going to war. It needed a just cause. And the third criteria was that you needed to have right intention. You needed to have at least some kind of reasonable expectation of success, so that you would cause more good than harm. Now, that's a difficult issue, of course, in the context of war, because people are being killed. But yet you have to wrestle with these questions. You cannot just go for war and cause destruction. And in modern theories, of course, we have to think about the question of proportionality and difference between competence and non-competence. And all these questions, which are even very relevant today, rise from this very old tradition that has its Christian roots in St. Augustine, Thomas Aquinas, Hugo Grotius, who wrestled with these questions and tried to give some reasons why not to go to war, but yet realizing that sometimes in this fallen world there will be wars, and when would be right decision to go to war. Two more basic things in the just war theory were, there is what they call a jus ad bello, which means what are the right reasons for going to war, and jus in bello, which means that even when you have the justified reason for going to war as a moral reason, it doesn't mean that anything goes. You cannot just do anything in the war. There are certain limitations what you can do in the war, and these are also two criteria there.